afternoon and welcome to Bid with Rachel. Today I am bringing you the Inside Bidding Show. And in this show, I'm going to show you 6 of the items I looked at this week. I'm going to show you exactly which items I bid on, which items I decided to take a pass on. I'm also going to go in and show you what items sold for what prices, including a couple that really surprised me. I'm going to show you how much I think people might have lost or profited when they sold those items. So get your calculators ready. Remember, we're here to curate the sparkle and calculate those profits. I looked at several unique items this week. In this video, I'll show you what I saw, how I investigated them, how I calculated if I should bid or step away. Plus, I followed up on the winning prices so you can see how much I'll estimate the winners might profit or lose. I love selling gold when I can get it really cheap. Now, that rarely happens, but I still try. The problem with gold is that everyone can research the market value. The melt value of this gold ring today is $85, which is right at the comp price. Hopefully, a jeweler picked this up who can add a nice stone and increase the value of this ring exponentially. This was an interesting one. Again, you see that the comp is right at today's melt value of $85 for 1.5 grams of gold. By the way, if you're a reseller, this is a good example of the kind of photo not to take. It's very hard to see. The funny thing about this listing is when I click through, is the first thing it says is, this is not gold. You can believe I backed right out. I'm predicting a $7 loss if it's gold and a $65 loss if it's not. Barclay has some really beautiful pieces, including these, even with some enamel missing. Unfortunately, Barclay only sells for really good money in full sets, which is what they call a paru or demi paru. With just 2 pieces, the best comp I could find is $65. And you can see here what that does. I predict here with a final end price of $50 and a shipping and handling fee of $1, predicted profit of only 35 cents. Mazer has some exceptional pieces, especially sterling and rhinestones, but the best comp I could find for one like this with missing rhinestones was $89. So I kept my bid at $20, which would have given me a max net profit of $39. I was really surprised when it went for almost $78. I'm predicting a $20 loss on this one unless the buyer already has another buyer for it or maybe wants it for sentimental value. Keep your eye out for these AI written listings, by which I mean just plain wrong. This is not an Alexis Bitar ring. It is a Heidi Dow ring. The clue is in that 4th picture along the bottom. It even shows the Heidi Daw hallmark. Now, Heidi Daw does have some value. If someone bought this at 21 and sold it for 45, I predict a $9 profit. This would not be enough for me to list, but it's not a loss either. Again, make sure that you're always checking your photos to make sure they match. When I saw this hand brooch, I just thought it was so adorable. I'd recently watched a video about Trifari figural hand brooches, and the person had mentioned they were worth $200 plus. Lucky I went and checked. The $200 version is the Jelly Belly brooch. This one only comps at $39. So, all things considered, I'm really glad I went and double checked. I did not bid on this one. I am predicting a a $20 loss for the person that purchased this one. They purchased it right at the comp value. Here's a look at all of today's items and numbers so you can see the exact calculations. Don't forget that you can download my exact reseller estimated fee calculator for free and enter your own numbers. It's a great way to learn more about how fees can impact your net profits. Remember, this is only an educational tool. This tool is helpful for people who bid in multiple platforms and different auctions because you can adjust the numbers. As a bonus, today I'm going to take you step by step through how to calculate a shop goodwill bid. First of all, you find an item you think is interesting. Here we have a vintage 10K Hamilton watch with an opening bid of $12. So we're going to start here. We also have some key terminology. Vintage means 1990 or before, and RGP is a rolled gold plated watch in this case. The very first step is you're going to check the photos. Always ask yourself, do the photos match the title? In this case, you're looking for signs that this is indeed a vintage Hamilton 17 jewel ladies watch. Look at the back of the watch and look inside the watch and see, does it say Hamilton? Does it say 17 jewels? Also, do you see where it says the 10K RGP? Checking the shipping price is very important before you go any further. I used to skip this step, but the shipping can actually make or break your profits. In this case, you can use the shipping and handling calculator right there on the Goodwill site. All you need to do is enter your zip code and they will give you the actual number. In this case, to have that watch shipped, it is going to cost you $13. You need to take this number into account when you're calculating your net profit. In this step, you're going to find sold comps on eBay. Now, the sold comps give you an idea of what someone has recently been willing to pay for your item. Don't use listing comps. Listing comps can be whatever item, whatever price a buyer chooses to list. Listing comps can greatly lead you astray in calculating your potential profits. They're often very inflated. For example, as you see by the example of this watch that someone actually listed at almost $500. Now you've gathered all of your information and you're ready to calculate your potential net profit. You can enter in the sold comp, the postage, and you can adjust your percentages, your promotion percentages, your final value fee. You can also play around with your potential bids and you can look at your potential profits. You can play around to determine which bid will yield you your preferred profit margin. In summary, for any auction, after you've found what you're interested in bidding on, make sure you verify your match, calculate the shipping and handling, find those sold comps, and then use the reseller fee calculator to check your profit, play around with the different numbers, and make sure that net profit is in the range that you're looking for. If it's not, it's just fine to stop bidding and walk away from that item. There's always another item that can come your way. If you enjoyed this video, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. I started this channel to help other people like me who didn't quite understand how all the fees worked. Now I'm excited to share my finds with you and help you so that you can curate the sparkle and calculate the profits. Let's find those high value treasures and let's make some money reselling jewelry.